Samurai Jack has ended, guys. What did we think of that last extremely sad episode? Let's talk about it and see what we've got, if you're ready. Hello, beautiful geeks. How is everybody doing today? Lewis once again coming to you through the power of YouTube and the Geek Fortress to bring you Samurai Jack Season 5, Episode 10 review. And that's it, guys. This was the end. What we've been waiting for over a decade to see Jack finally accomplish what he's been trying to accomplish for 50 plus years in his timeline. And it finally happened, guys. Before we get started, spoiler alert, do not forget. Let's get right to it. So the episode starts in a really nice way. We see a whole bunch of Jack's friends that he's helped throughout the years. Kinda watching in like a TV fashion the fight that it's about to take place between Aku and Jack, as we had left off in the episode before. And we see eventually that he got taken prisoner. But before we get to that, we see all of these guys from different episodes watching Jack, and they feel so powerless. And we get a nice little throwback at the original intro, which is the long ago in a distant land, Aku, you know. We didn't get to hear the theme song, but I still think that it was a nice little throwback, and I really enjoyed that. Getting into the episode itself, we see that Jack is bounded by chains, and that Aku is having a hard time deciding how to kill him. You know, he's like, it's the supervillain effect. You finally, I like to call it the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner effect. If he ever caught the Roadrunner, what's he gonna do now? So he finally catches Jack, and he's like, wow, I don't know how to kill him. I got nothing. And he tells possessed Ashi, you know what? I think you're gonna do it. Yeah, you're definitely gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And so that's what happens. Ashi is about to start. It's about to kill Jack. And it gets really close, and then out of nowhere we hear an explosion, and it's all the people who were watching Jack before. They have gathered in armies, and they are taking they're going to take the fight to Aku. And the fight itself is one of the it was kinda even for a moment, you know, but then eventually Aku got the upper hand. This whole time while this is happening, of course, Jack is fighting Ashi, because in the explosion he gets freed, and he's fighting Ashi, you know. They're and then he's trying to tell her to open her eyes, to wake up. He's basically trying to get her to get out of it, snap out of it, you know. But it's a little harder than it sounds, because she's so possessed by Aku's evil doing that it's impossible for her to just snap out of it. So Aku eventually, like I said before, gets the upper hands on the army, and we see Jack and the Scotsman reunite finally after 50 years. And Jack is like, wow, so you're dead? And he's like, yeah, I'm a ghost. It's all because of Celtic magic, blah, blah, blah. And then Jack is like, okay. And then we get this little montage that I think it was unnecessary in this episode. I would have much rather seen more of the fight of the Scotsman showing off all his daughters. And he's like, that's Fernanda, Flaminga, Flamunga. It was weird. I really could have lived without that. But I get it. They wanted to keep a funny element to the episode, so they ended up adding it in there. So no complaints. So Aku, eventually, like I said before, he gets the upper hand and he brings down everybody, and the Scotsman manages to do like this one spell that is able to protect everybody from this. He turns into like this spike giant cloud that just like rains black spikes. And when this happens, he excuse me, he blows on his instrument, and that sounded so wrong. Holy crap. He blows on his I forget the name of the instrument, sorry about that, guys, but he makes like a force field show up, and then they end up being okay. So after this, Jack is like swallowed by the black entity that is a she, you know, and then when he's in there, he's trying to look for her. She's like, Jack, and then he sees her face, and then he's like, come on, you have to fight, please fight. And then eventually he says, she, I love you, you know. So, and the whole time I'm screaming, I'm like, tell her you love her, and you know, because I was really into this episode, because it's the last episode of Samurai Jack. I was so excited to hear that he was coming back, and it was very surreal to see it end tonight. It was very, very sad. And up right next, we see she about to take a final blow at Jack, but then she suppresses the power, and she ends up taking control. So she takes control of the power, and she has all of Aku's abilities. Yeah, shape-shifting, everything, and that's gonna be what's gonna help us in about 5 seconds. So he realizes that she has every single power. She can shapeshift. She keeps blocking everything from Aku, and he's like, you have every ability. So she does scream the same way that Aku sends Jack back in time, and she opens a time portal, and then they go back to the past. So what we've been waiting all this time, Jack's quest to go back to the past, Samurai Jack, he makes it. He goes back to the past, guys. He goes back to the past, and he finally, we see like a little montage of the first episode when we see Aku sending Jack to the future, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna send you to the future where my evil is low, blah blah blah, and he sends him over to the future, and right as he sends him, the other portal opens, and the Jack from that timeline comes back. And apparently, even though we've been watching Jack for so many years, all of that, if you combine it, happened in like 10 seconds basically, because right after he came back, he came right after Aku sent him to the future, and Aku's like, you're back already? And Jack wastes no time. He uses the sword, and he stabs Aku multiple times, and eventually one last stab kills him completely. He uses a magical sword, blows up the castle, and the evil of Aku is finally undone. Finally. So Aku is finally dead, guys. Oh, we've been waiting so long. Aku is gone. No mas Aku. So we're treated to this little 10 seconds of happiness when you see Jack is getting ready for a wedding. He's going to marry Ashi, you know, and he's happy, she's happy, they're about to get married. And the whole time we were having a discussion over at the Geek Fortress fan page, Facebook group, and people were saying, wait a minute, but if Aku died, she was never created, she never existed to begin with. That's a paradox right there, a time traveling paradox. And I was even thinking to myself, okay, it looks like that's gonna be the paradox, they're gonna leave it right there, you know. And then I was like, I'm happy with that. I'm honestly not gonna complain, because I want Jack to be happy, and I want him to end up with a she. But you know it, that's right, it turns out that a she faints, and she says, if Aku never was around, I was never born. And then Ashi just disappears. She turns into nothing, thin air. And that is the end of Ashi. So I was hoping that I was wrong in all my previous videos, guys. Remember, I kept telling you that I didn't think she was gonna make it, and I was right, unfortunately. But Jack did make it back to the past, and he undid the evil that was Aku. So, am I satisfied? I don't know, to be honest, guys. The episode ends and we get a final look at the ladybug, which was very symbolic. He sees the ladybug, it lands on his fingers, and for those of you guys who remember, the ladybug was very symbolic because it was She's first look at nature. When a ladybug landed, and then her mother killed the ladybug. If you guys remember from about 5 episodes ago, and maybe, who knows? Maybe that was her spirit. Maybe she came back as a ladybug. Maybe that is just it's just symbolism for the universe to let us know that even though she never existed, Jack will never forget her. But this is the irony of this episode. He had said how everyone he had ever loved had died, and he didn't want a she to die. And the irony is that he got everybody that he loved back. His mom, his dad, and then a she died. Mind explosion. I know. Insane. I'm still trying to get over myself, but that was the end of the episode, guys. The episode ended like that. Just like that. That was it. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I shed a couple of tears. I was very happy that the show wrapped itself up in a nice little bow. I haven't seen I didn't think I was ever gonna get an ending for my show, so I'm glad it happened. Thank you to Cartoon Network and everybody who has been working on Samurai Jack. I do have complaints, yes, of course, because I'm a geek, I'm a fan, I'm gonna complain. Duh. Number one, I feel the episode should have been longer. Way longer. I did not like the fact that it was half an hour, and technically the first 4 minutes is just like an opening type thing, and the whole minute and a half that we lost and wasted with the Scotsman daughters' names, no, I did not like that. But the episode should have been longer. I felt like they rushed that last episode. They managed to compact it very well, I'm not gonna lie. But I wish I could have seen more. Maybe that's just me as a fanboy wanting more because I knew it was the end. Who knows? But we knew from the beginning that they were going to make one more season, and that was going to be it. So we knew that it was going to end in that half-hour window. And my second complaint is that they kept the continuity about Jack and the place where he fought the Guardian and having fought the Guardian. But even though the continuality was kept, the whole fact that the Guardian had said that he was going to go back but not yet, and we saw an old Jack, we saw him old, and that's how we saw that he was supposed to be Aku when he was older and everything. Well, that didn't happen. I mean, maybe granted the future changed, or simply it was just different, it was just symbolic, because technically he did have the long hair and the beard, he just wasn't older, but he did go back. I don't know. That is on the eye of the beholder at this point, guys. Any way you guys want to understand how that was. I mean, I would have liked to see it in there somehow, but hey, we got it, right? So the episode ends with Jack there with a ladybug, and then just cuts to black. He's in a field, but Aku is dead. He completed his quest, and Jack is back to the past. And very bittersweet, guys. It's over. And I want to tell you guys that it's been a pleasure bringing commentary and reaction to all these episodes of Samurai Jack and all of this season. It was very, very nice. It was awesome. I'm very glad. Thank you guys for those of you who have been watching since episode 1, all my reviews. You guys are awesome. What do you guys think of this final episode of Samurai Jack, guys? Was it what you expected? Just let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought of this season. What do you guys think of this last episode? Was it everything you hoped for? Were you disappointed? I personally give it like a 7 out of 10, to be perfectly honest. I will be doing a 1-minute review as well of the whole season. So if you guys want to hear that, that's going to be like a funny aspect review, as I do 1-minute reviews. I will put a card up here to all my other 1-minute reviews if you guys want to watch those. But that's it, guys. It's been fun. It's been a hell of a ride. Thank you again, guys, if you've been watching since the beginning. Guys, do not forget that you guys are awesome. Do not forget to stay awesome and geek on. And one last time, Lewis out. Samurai style. Watcha! Goodbye, everybody. See you next time.